Monday Night Football, Eagles-Chiefs, Super Bowl 57 rematch. It's been a long 9 months. That loss as a fan, was pretty devastating, to be honest. It was rough the first few days. And to see this team respond with the adjustments Howie Roseman's has made and to get on this start is amazing, but it doesn't mean anything if they don't get this job done later on this season. And I wanted this win, absolutely, but in the grand scheme of things, not sure if it really matters if it doesn't end up with a Lombardi trophy at the end of the day, at the end of the season at least. Was it the Eagles' best game? Absolutely not. Cold, wet conditions. Both teams had issues with ball security. We saw a couple fumbles, we saw drop passes. Yet again, the Eagles were able to grind out a close victory, and this time they exact some revenge for that loss. And to break down the play, a lot of what happened in this game is mostly due to the first half, where the Chiefs honestly dominated. First quarter 7-7, but that second quarter the Chiefs made a couple of nice plays to close out the half and get out to a 10-point lead. And Spags wreaked havoc on the Eagles offense, except for one possession. A lot of pressure was doled out to Jalen Hurts. It overwhelmed the offensive line. They had issues with pass protection, a lot of nice slot corner blitzes that Jalen didn't anticipate. He nearly lost the ball, but had just a fumble that he was able to get back on top of. And Spagnuolo is one of the best DCs ever. He's maybe not going to be a head coach because he tried that, and just like other coaches, you know what your role is, and sometimes it's just a coordinator, and that's totally fine. Spags really knows what to do. He knows how to call plays. He was part of that 2007 Giants team that shut down that Patriots offense and prevented them from having that perfect season, and he really knows how to combat really good offenses. In the Super Bowl, forced a turnover against Jalen Hurts. That was really the difference in this game. Forced an interception in this game against Jalen Hurts, and he was under relentless pressure with this Chiefs defense. It's been the calling card for them this entire year. And yeah, I saw a lot of good things from the Chiefs offense, especially with the run game. Between Isaiah Pacheco, we saw a little bit of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and some Patrick Mahomes. They combined for 168 yards on the ground, a little bit of Kadarius Toney there. So there is some sprinkles, some creativity there, but still the pass catchers are the issue. The Chiefs' biggest issue this season has been drops, and we saw 5 on Monday Night Football. That's a season high, and they lead the league in drops. It's ahead of other teams that haven't been so good, like the Jets offense, for example. We saw a drop by Travis Kelce, but I think the two biggest drops were the MVS drop that easily could have been the go-ahead touchdown. He was catching it over his shoulder, and as he's securing it, it just kind of comes loose and then ricochets off the shoulder, and then it doesn't survive the ground and squirts out. That really is deflating when Mahomes is kind of battling under heavy pressure with the Eagles defensive line in his grill and doesn't get rewarded for those type of efforts. It's a beautiful pass. You can't put it any better than that. Next play, protection breaks down again. He's forced to throw the ball out of bounds, but it doesn't pass the line of scrimmage. That means that's a intentional grounding penalty. Next play, 4th and 25. That is extremely difficult, but he still gives Justin Watson a shot to convert that, but he just drops it. It's, again, a lot of coverage. Maybe didn't have the best opportunity there, but he had 2 drops in this game. That was another one was a crucial 3rd down conversion that he could have had, and that's really the difference in this game. Add in 2 red zone turnovers, one from Patrick Mahomes that was intercepted by Kevin Byard, and then Travis Kelce having a red zone fumble. A lot of these mistakes are things you can clean up, but the drops just continue to happen so far with the Chiefs, and that's where my worries are. The defense, I think they can win them a lot of games, but can the offense? Yes, you have Patrick Mahomes, but he can throw it, but he also can't catch it. So that's the biggest thing. I trust Travis Kelce, but I don't really trust the other pass catchers with the Chiefs. The Eagles' offense is still, after 2 weeks, it seems that there's a little bit of flurry sometimes. I like sometimes when Brian Johnson is calling plays, especially with Devontae Smith running open deep along the right sideline to set up the go-ahead score. Some DeAndre Swift in there, but a lot of these horizontal passes I saw, they were like very lateral type of passes that were trying to get these swing passes going, get blocking downfield, but they were blown up or incomplete, near interceptions. Those need to stop. The play calling and the feel for the game is clearly not something that Brian Johnson is totally accustomed to just yet. He's not up to Shane Steichen's level as he was last year, so there's still some issues with that. But I think in the fourth quarter, especially in the second half, those adjustments were made. The run game got going, got the first touchdown drive to cut it to 3, and then to dial up that play to Devontae to really open up the passing game. That's big. I don't think the Eagles will play a defense other than the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys a second time to this level of degree with the Kansas City Chiefs, but they definitely need to work on a few more things and be a little bit more complex. I think a little bit more motion, and the lack of A.J. Brown was concerning in this game, but he was covered pretty well by L'Jarius Sneed for much of this game, and a couple of times when they threw his way, it either resulted in an interception or near interception. This is not on the total same page right there, but I think he'll resume what the type of pace he was on. Definitely an off night, but he'll get it back. The Eagles are now 9-1. They are very comfortably at the 1 seed heading into Thanksgiving. We're about 3/4 of the way through the NFL season at this point. They have a couple more tough games, including the Bills at home, again the San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys on the road, and then the Seattle Seahawks. In this 6-game slate of the gauntlet, they're 2-0 right now, beat the Dallas Cowboys before the bye, beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I think if they even go 2-2 in this stretch, they end up at 11-3, and that was my bare minimum goal before the last 3 games, but they have the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants again. Those should be fine at that point. They may not even have anything to play for the way it's looking right now. Detroit, I think, is the only team that really is a team that can threaten them record-wise, but obviously Dallas, they can play them a second time at home. No easy thing to do to win over in Dallas, and then San Francisco's out for blood because they're looking really good after that little 3-game skid. They've won a couple of games and they're kind of rounding back into form. And for now, the Eagles are very much the best team in the NFC, if not the NFL. They proved it on the road, they proved it at home, and this will continue as long as they're able to grind out wins. It may not be pretty, but they are finding ways to win. This was a complete team victory. They should be happy about this, and definitely a long way to go, but they're definitely on their way to at least clinching the number 1 seed in the NFC come playoff.